It happened.
We in here.
Divine nine damage.
How y'all? We in here.
From a historical perspective. Yeah, I think.
Let me get to it. Let me check this audio.
I think what the historical perspective. If we want to start with what's his name, Prince Hall in Boston, when he first started, he wanted to model.
We good. Come up in here. We in here.
Freemasons off of Skull and Bones. You know, if you look at what Skull and Bones do, you know, they instrumental into like I said, rewriting history, plagiarizing ancient relics and all of this stuff, speaking for the dead, all kind of desecration and etc. But here for the first time, you got a black group that want to monitor themselves.
Salute. Gotta see my bro Sanchez destroy this clown real quick.
Enemy.
Y'all already know. Pull up. Y'all know the vibes. What y'all love?
So now
what
Prince Hall started was
let me hold some.
Openly accepting guys who willing to be trustees, so to speak. So even on a plantation, the slave master have a group of Negroes who would be a small cabal that's secretly in charge of watching the large herd. And you never
Turtle, salute to you, G. How you, gang?
He kept it that way, a small group, and that way Massa can have eyes everywhere, and the people snitching won't be even jeopardized. So like small groups of secret societies, even in slavery, working with the Massa. And so I think that was rebuilt with Prince Hall. A new type of trustee, a new type of sellout. And I think everything is mutating for the worse with every generation.
That's good to hear, bro. Good to see you again, bro. Good to see you again, man.
Freemasonry and oppressing your own people for the New World Order agenda to work is really a union of sellouts. It's really a bunch of flags at that table of people who working against their own people, which is just to say,
hey, yo, coach, salute. How you, peace, fam? Peace, God.
And everybody who joining these groups got some in common. They got some kind of ambition or greed to get ahead some kind of way, and they willing to do it even through mysticism. Because no one really knows what these organizations is about till you join. But what drives one to join, if you ask me, is driven by a few to get ahead. And that right there, to me, is the foundation of a person that's, you know, willing to sell their own people out.
Well, bro Sanchez, we got the Copper Grizzly, aka Big Aboriginal Power, has entered the building. You know, I wish we had those things like you be having, like the claps and all that.
Yo, Sanchez go hard, like his views. I respect his views, bro.
Hey man,
like what I really do, man. You already know what time it is, man. Stand up, man. Make sure y'all go to his channel, man.
Y'all hear me, man?
Yeah, I should send him
hey,
likes
man,
and
I thought
views
you was
over
running
there,
around here
man.
a second, man. I didn't know what we was doing. I was like, AP done got cold feet. I said, nah, he gotta have some issues, bro.
It's a beautiful Sunday, G. Nah, you
It's
know my phone
Sunday.
never work. My phone don't work on StreamYard, so I had to get my other device and shit. Oh, nigga,
that's what's up.
But yeah,
glad you
man,
can be with us, brother.
Man, shout out to bro Sanchez, shout out to the American Aborigines in the chat, man. Peace and blessings. Let's get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, are you ready to get into the conversation right now? We can come back to this video later.
No, I'm definitely ready to get into the conversation. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I don't know how we got here, but I think it was a misunderstanding. But bro Sanchez was here first. We're gonna let bro Sanchez give his take on why we at this point right now. Going into this is a face-off to see what we're gonna debate about, what we're gonna debate, and what's the
let's go.
Let's go.
You know what?
Quote, bro.
I think what me and him was debating about previously.
Big up Sanchez, most definitely. It's a fact, bro. I think much respect to him. He the one that got me digging deep into my flat earth. That's a whole nother issue, man. Many masks, man. You know what I mean? But shout out Sanchez, man. For real facts.
I would like for us to get creative here today and really find a good title that we both would disagree on, that the people will really benefit from that title. Like some of the stuff I teach, I consider myself an Aboriginal, of course. It salutes to y'all brothers, but some of the stuff I teach, not every Aboriginal agree with it, of course. Flat Earth is one of them, of course, but we ain't gonna get into that. I know not all Aboriginals.
That's
agree,
crazy because like it's like we go hand in hand, bro. Like I believe some of the same shit, bro.
I want to know from the brother Al Powers, there's something he heard me say in specific that he would want to push back on, and I can kind of build on it a little bit now, and we can see where we can get some good kind of arguing points.
Okay, Al, you got the floor, brother. Respond to that.
All right, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Peace and blessings. You said a lot, man. And shout out to you again, once again, for even acknowledging your Aboriginal heritage. Some people are more advanced when it comes to the science and culture and who we are, able to make these connections. And like you said, not all Aboriginals agree on everything. And you brought up flat Earth. Maybe some of them don't, but the reason they probably don't is because they don't understand what their ancestors wrote. So, and like I said, there's people that.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact, Coach. That's a fact. We definitely are, man. We definitely are.
So, this is where two roads meet. So what I did hear from you, particularly that I right off the top of my head, which is one of your last fields that I kind of glanced at, you was going in on the Asian connection, out of Asia, breaking down the historical narrative, saying that pretty much the original people of this land is pretty much the same stock of the people of Asia. That I disagree with. So that's just the first thing.
What was the last sentence there, my brother?
How the people of America stock is pretty much the same stock of the Asian or Cambodian stock that you were mentioning.
Hold up, you said spot or stock? My bad. Let me cut
stock,
my hair.
Stock. My bad. My audio might be a little off.
No, you
stock.
Good. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, as the same lineage or ethnicity or classification.
Well, I would say not even more so of the same genetics or DNA necessarily. I believe they probably was in the argument that I make, being that the copper-colored people of North America wasn't always just exclusive to this land. I believe not only are we Aboriginal to this land, but we had a whole nother empire in another part of the world, kind of like how Rome grew their empire and had different empires all over the world. I think that the copper-colored Aboriginals, our ancestors of this land, had an empire in Southeast Asia called the Khmer Empire. And I got a lot of research that led me to that belief. But the way I speak about that, it's the fact that you could debate it from a genetic standpoint or lineage standpoint, like you said, or you can debate it from just I would like to look at it like their spiritual system has spread. When Rome conquer different places in the world, you find out them people become Christians over time. They be Christians today, or like when so that's kind of like what I think Columbus was faced with. He saw the same spiritual system in these two parts of the world, so he identified the people based on the spiritual system, not necessarily the skin tone or the genetics. I think he just was saying Indian based upon the ancient word for Buddhist or Hinduist or someone who meditated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, peace to the chat, everybody. Make sure y'all go over the Sanchez page, man. Y'all ain't even gotta like this page, man. Make sure y'all go over there, show them some love, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Pull up. Y'all know the vibes, man.
Science, or even genetics, or even just contributions in general, we can even get to a conclusion that maybe America, and get to a better conclusion that maybe America is not this melting pot that has been alluded to in the Clovis first conversations and these other conversations. As a matter of fact, it is exclusive to a particular set of people, and they actually crafted their science around it, and then later on it become a melting pot. As this becomes a melting pot, you see the journey being took on the road, whether it was in Cambodia, whether it was in Turkey, whether it was in northern Egypt, Mesopotamia. You find the fingerprints of America there, and we're gonna get into that in the sciences as well within this conversation. So
so that's exactly what I'm saying, that the original people on this land had a spiritual system, and that spiritual system didn't get muddied and become this melting pot till the pilgrims came. But I do think that spiritual system that was practiced here prior to the pilgrims coming wasn't just being practiced here, that the people here was so powerful. Just like if you look at the Black Americans here today, our culture being practiced all over the world. And unfortunately, they even got Crips and Bloods in the UK, because it's just something about the copper-colored man over here that you got people playing 50 Cent on the radio in the Middle East. So I think it's always been like that. I'm with you. I'm saying that the original people on this land had a certain customs and spiritual systems, but I think they was more than a national people. You know how some cats be like, I'm internationally known, baby. That's what I think was happening. I think the Olmecs was known. They was like these rock stars, kind of like how us Negroes are today. Everybody know about Black Americans all over the world for our swagger and stuff. That's what I was seeing in my research. Just like you said, you can find American culture in a lot of other places, you know, and that's what I was peeping, like, damn, we've been spreading our swag around.
Well, AP just fell out for a second. See, be right back. I'll continue the conversation. Oh no, he's right back.
But what you think about that though?
And no. Yeah, I absolutely understand what you were saying. Somehow I got cut off. But yeah, the system, and I do believe that it got corrupted with foreigners. I'm not gonna say just with pilgrims, because we know that they corrupted, but I believe all foreign concepts in a way corrupted, and you see it with one of the early invasions in this land, which has happened to be what I will identify, and what I believe my ancestors depicted and described was one of the earliest Asian invasions documented and recorded. And this influence came about as well.
Yeah, a lot of my
other foreign concepts adapted to our spiritual systems, but made it corrupted as well. That's what I believe.
I feel you.
Well, that's what I can prove.
Yeah, a lot of my research do show like the main.
So when you're dealing with a certain aspect of Aboriginal culture, you want to look at ethnicity, you want to look at culture, you want to look at customs, you want to look at traditions. Overall, what's going to be birthed or what's going to be produced off of this is inventions and contributions. Inventions and contributions. And these contributions and inventions is going to be advancements for society. And it's not going to just be exclusive as things go on. It's going to be exclusive. It's going to be used for all societies and all civilizations to advance.
Can I interject something?
This is when you started to see certain civilizations advance.
Well, AP, real quick.
Based off
AP, real quick. Is that
or having decline?
Well, AP. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me. I got a question for you. Can you hear me? Testing.
I can hear
you. Okay, AP. I don't know if you got to go out and come back in.
Y'all hear me?
We can hear you. You can't hear us.
Yeah, I can hear him.
AP, go out, come back in. Well, the question I have for him, you know, and you, bro Sanchez, that's something as you when you say that it comes out of Asia. You know, a lot of times they talk about a lot of the science and technology and things came out of Asia. Could that be something that we put in this debate? Like, where does civilization, or where do certain sciences and math and all those type of things? Let me ask you a question. Where do you think those things come from, brother?
Where do I think civilization come from?
Yes, science, algebra, calculus, trigonometry. Where do you think that comes from, bro?
All of those things, they feel are the foundations of civilization. So let's sum it up. Let's say, where do I think civilization originate from? Can I tackle that one?
Absolutely, brother.
All right. I think civilization originated from the creator. And I mean that whatever the creator is that created this universe, it created it civilized. Now, being non-civilized originate from man. I don't think it go the other way around. I think that man was actually created a civilized individual. I don't think the creator created barbarians. I think that the creator created angelic beings with intelligence and was civilized, and then something happened where they fell from their mental state and they start to engage into unnatural, uncivilized behavior. So in essence, I don't think civilization originated in one particular geographic location. No different do I think kissing or having sex or walking originated in one geographic location. I think it was just something that came with part of being human from the get-go.
So what you would say is that based off of your research all these years, that basically when you get to the creative concept, it's kind of like it's hypothetical at that point. You understand my point?
Well, it's not hypothetical unless, let me ask you this question. Do you think that what you see outside is a creation?
Yes and no. If you can understand that.
Are you talking about the natural things like grass?
Yeah, would you consider our world, right, a creation? A creation.
All right. Do you believe in the Sumer creation? Like everything came from Sumer first. Like they said that when we talk about civilization, we talk about math, science, arithmetic, language. They say it comes from Sumer. What's your take on that? Bro?
Yeah, see, I'm gonna stay with my same answer. When you talk about math, it's simple as adding, subtracting, counting, and I think that humans naturally counted. I think any human on earth that ever looked up at the stars have said 1 there, 2 there, 3 there. Hey, look at that. Maybe they didn't say 1, 2. Maybe they said unos, dos, tres, that, but they did something to distinguish numerical value. So I don't think like one group of people can be attributed for something as simple as counting. Problem solving.
Well, okay. Right, but when I got you. So what we got to figure out, because they're saying that it comes from them. That's what they're teaching. And so we're gonna have to have that conversation within this conversation, because right now I'm about to ask Big Aboriginal Power, where does civilization come from? And then we'll see his answer. Go ahead, Ab.
Well, that's a good question. And as far as right now, we can only go with what the research says and what data collectively says. If we're going with general consensus, if we want to go with primaries, we will have to deal with the people who lived at those times and what they recorded. So I can give you both aspects of it. And here I'm gonna say civilization, under my research, under my understanding, civilization was around the world. Now you have civilization, you have advanced civilization. I believe we are the progenitors of what we would call advanced civilization. I believe it started here in America.
Hey, bro, Sanchez, would that be something you would like to debate? One topic, like where civilization comes from?
Okay, so the debate would be, I'm saying civilization coming from the creator, and he's saying it's coming from America, right? And we would debate
I
that.
guess I don't know. I don't know how to debate the creator though. Like
because
I don't know that guy.
Those are the hold on a second. Those are the arguments being made real quick. When you
let me clarify. Okay. Let me clarify what I'm saying, right? Because I just stated that civilization was everywhere. Now the advancements of civilization is key because you can have a society which there's nomadic societies around, constantly around, does not build it. They have no advancement to their society way of living. And so with the advancements to society creates this civilization, this thriving for the better whole of this conglomerate, if you will. So what I'm saying is the advancements of civilization came from the Americans. Yes.
Okay, so we're dealing with the advancement of civilization. All right, and that give us some room for disagreement. All right, let me push back.
I don't believe civilization was started from one person. I don't believe that.
No, me neither. Hell no, not one person. Hell no, one person.
Or one group, one nation. Yeah, nothing like that.
Yeah. So what I would say is this. I like when you put advancement on it because that get us closer to something we can disagree on and formulate an argument here. So let me give you some what I think about that. I think that everybody who was civilized had their own type of advanced technology. And certain things that your civilization may not been advanced at, other ones was, but what they want advanced that you was. Like today, we may be more advanced than other people with military might and force, but we ain't more advanced than China with this electronics and stuff and technology and stuff, or we ain't more advanced than the Middle East when it comes to how to negotiate oil unions or whatever. So what I'm saying is, like, to make a long story short, I'm willing to debate that all civilizations around the world was on some level of advanced technology based upon the ruins that we see in their land today. For example, even though I'm not a Pan-African, I do know that there are light bulbs carved in the wall in Egypt, or Crookes tubes. In North America, you got evidence of electronic systems being used. In parts of Southeast Asia, like I said, you got the same stone cutting technology going on. And even Stonehenge over there in I think that's in Europe, people can't explain what kind of technology lifted those blocks. So I think that, me personally, when I look around the world, I can find something on each land that'll make me say, damn, now, this kind of event, even the Antikytherian mechanism that was found.
I believe they can explain it. My bad, brother, sister. I didn't mean to cut
no, you good. You good.
I believe they can explain it. I believe they just don't want to. This is a form of uniformitarianism. And once they find something that changes the narrative, they kind of hold off and keep pushing what's already been pushed. And kind of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Even though the information shows that it contradicts the information is broken within itself, and it won't be fixed. So I believe that they know exactly what's going on. I believe we have to get into migrations. We have to get into that. We have to get into early history, recorded history from the people alleged to create these great monuments or these great endeavors. We want to get into the recorded records of them.
Yeah, most definitely. So what I say is this: when it comes to research, I deal with architecture as the foundation for letting the ancestors tell us who they are. Because to me, I think the ancestors left in all of their structures and architecture who they were in stone. And once we ignore that and go to the records of what the oppressors saying about our ancestors, I think that we should always challenge what they're saying versus just simply regurgitate it as a source information. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Are we gonna determine what can go in the debate should be in the side of theory? Or are we only gonna allow what's to go in the debate what's a fact? Bro Sanchez, that question for you, brother. Go ahead.
I think we can do a little bit of both, man, in the debate.
I'm gonna try my best to leave as many theories out. I'm gonna try to deal with the most the best established facts that I can. If we do get into theories, obviously they can be argued and critiqued from anyone's point of view. So I'm definitely I agree with that as well. So I'm ready to put on the table, man. Like I said, a lot of this information out here shows who we are, what we have done. A lot of the shit contradicts what old history said. You know, you got Ivan Van Sertima that talked about they was here before Christopher, you know, before Columbus. You know, you got a lot of references that he gives to the pygmies, and then you know we got to understand that you know just under an outdated understanding, you will be alluded to some false information that these people are is where you come from, or these people are the first. And these are the things we have to get into because we start breaking down what a particular group of people is and what their contributions is. You can see it by the sheer numbers, by the sheer uh, amount. You know, if we can just use our common sense by how long it takes to build something generally normal, how long would it take to construct something then that obviously was considered generally normal? So this is how we come up with conclusions of other things. But I'm definitely willing to get into the work, man, the primary research to show how our ancestors created and advancements and inventions that obviously went across the world, you know, pre-Columbian oceanic voyages is what I'm talking about.
So, Chief, what kind of debate can you formulate based on that? Where me and him coming from on as far as advanced civilizations go? And that can just be one argument though in a debate. And
yeah, I mean, like I said, this is a conversation. You know what I mean? Because like I said, you're coming into this Aboriginal information much like we all have. So to have our narratives and our understandings to put on the table and to be put out in front of the world to have their opinion and to be able to look at the data and come up with their own conclusions to be what best get pushed in the community as a general consensus is fine with me anyway. You see what I'm saying? It's all for the people to have a clear understanding of who we are, so they're not confronted with confusion or uncertainty when implementing information. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. And we can have a couple of arguments. I think we got a fire one to start with. Let me ask you this. You were saying something earlier about the Asiatic concept in the last stream I made, but I don't think you really finished going into what you was saying fully. Did you want to go back to that?
I was just, I didn't elaborate on it, but I was just saying I didn't catch your build in totality, so I don't want to speak out incorrectly. But I did kind of hear you make some key points of those pretty much being the same people here of the same stock, but like you said, mentioned you wise or concept.
Yeah, because
not
and let me some is Indian, and when we look at them Olmec statues, the answer is there. Also, the word nigger come from the word naga, which is a Hindu or Indian word dealing with, that would be the same thing as a meditating Buddha, saying that in a meditating position, you become a Naga in spirit. That's all it meant. So yeah, it's like so they actually called us niggas based on our spiritual system. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up about the Naga, the Buddha, because even within their own mythology, because the mythology is a way for them to tell their remembrance or the reverement or their true history in a way for it to last without it getting altered in a way. This is why they form mythology. So, and even within their mythology, they're explaining who gave birth, whether scientific or spiritual wise, to the Indus Valley. You feel me? Or to the Naga culture. So when you hear Naga culture, you got Buddha, and who gave birth to Buddha?
Yeah,
and we'll get into that.
The Nagas. Yeah, the Naga ain't really the god Buddha. Buddha was a Naga, and Nagas were just what a term we would say for yogi or sensei, of wise, sort of on some Confucius type shit, right? Where you meditating and you coming up with advanced technology for your people and shit. So if you go and research what the Naga was, it was a Hindu deity, but it wasn't no spook god like these religions today. It was saying you in a concentrated state, the human in a meditated state or critical thinking state is powerful. Like when you look at the picture.
Crazy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, what's crazy about what you're saying? Because I know exactly what you mean. Buddha is actually the representation of the Naga.
Yeah, he's a Naga.
In physical form. So what's crazy about that is that even understanding the culture, then it shows a gradual understanding that ain't even really looked at when you just looking at it from a surface basis. For instance, the Naga culture is already at its height with the spirituality. There's no growth. The concept has already been used and spread. It's established. You see what I'm saying? There's no growth in it. That means it was already established when they started using it.
Where is it coming? Where does it come from? Where do you say it's coming from?
Well, we're gonna get into that, right?
Well, I'm just saying, is that a point of contention? Is that a point of contention for the debate?
I say it comes from the Americas, and the reason I say that because
talk to us.
Even within this concept, it's explaining the Naga culture dealing with the serpent is already at a height. They already have an understanding. There's no growth and development to the understanding of the spirituality. It's already established who is. And it's just like when you see the Aztec representing the Kukulkan or the Quetzalcoatl. It's already established because it comes from a prior culture already practicing it and implementing it. So we're going to get into that as well. Like I said, it's a lot of history out there. It's a lot of shit out there.
Now here's the thing. Now we're saying, if you guys are both saying that both cultures are connected, correct? Is that what y'all saying?
Yeah, but he's saying, listen, I think yes. I think we both saying both cultures are connected, but he's saying how they connect.
Have a different.
Well, yeah, I'm just showing.
We have a different orientation for the
vibration. Right. He's saying it's connected because of it's coming out of America, right? Is what he's saying.
And you saying it's coming out of Asia, basically.
I'm saying it's coming out of the Indus Valley and the Khmer Empire. Yeah.
That's Asia.
Which is the same thing. Which is the same thing that Ivan Van Sertima and all the other ones said. I'm just updating their research because if they was around, they would be pushing the same into the out of America science as well. We can get into that as well.
Sanchez, he gonna smoke your boots though. On that one right there,
he said smoke your boots. Hey, well, check this out. Here's what I'm gonna say.
Go ahead, bro.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
The foundation of the whole spiritual system meditation and the Nagini culture, it started from Jainism, the Jain people. And that is like the ancient Khmer Empire and all that stuff. Now, no one can say that the people who was in America wasn't practicing this spiritual system during the time that the Jain people was practicing it. Now, everybody in the world today knows there's something called astrology and astronomy. Astrology and astronomy is based upon the Vedic system of astrology. The Vedics are the ancient Indus Valley people, Khmer people. To this day, this is a fact. Even in America, all of our calendars, all of our astronomical systems are based on the Vedic system.
Can you, just for the viewers' sake, because you just touched on some shit that I like to touch on, which that's why I even enjoy even having this debate with you. Most people
salutes,
want to
man.
debate. So, can you explain what the difference is between astrology and astronomy?
Yeah. So astronomy is simply the study of the stars, the positioning of the stars, trying to predict where the star's going to be from time to time, simple things of that nature. Astrology is interpreting the energy of the stars into zodiac frequencies and signs and Sagittarius, Leo, and let me tell you your sign and what's the best day for you to do this or do that, and getting into when the plant crops based upon the position. That is like the part of the stars that goes into a more spiritual side, whereas astronomy is the part that's more mathematical. You can chart the stars, position them. It's more just, you know what I mean? So that's the only difference. Astrology dealing with the zodiac, astrological signs and things of that nature, frequency, the energy.
I got a question before I forget this, y'all. It's a question for both of y'all, and you guys can go in any order and answer the question. Out of debates if you've had, who's your toughest debate, and what made it tough? What was that? I'm one of these nosy reporters, y'all. I'm a nosy journalist. I just want to know.
Who was my toughest debate? I'm gonna have to think about that one. I'm gonna let Ab go first while I think about that one.
Yeah, because that's kind of hard for me to answer too, man. I probably haven't had as many debates as you, bro, Sanchez. But I'm like 9 debates in live on YouTube, right, with moderated and everything. So I don't know, man. I don't know. The hardest debate I had, Vegan Warrior, based off his semantics. Vegan Warrior, right? Hey, Vegan Warrior probably was the toughest one. It was hard to get out a lot of the information. That was like in 2018, man. It was one of my earlier debates. Y'all go check that out on my channel.
You might check that out, Warrior.
Debater. Yeah, he's a solid debater. I done sparred with him a few times.
Yeah, he was one of my earlier debates,
Yeah, man. Salutes to
earlier
that brother.
To my YouTube running.
Hold on. I'm
Not a big Aboriginal power.
Oh yeah, man. Aboriginal power, Supreme Chief Holiday. Subscribe. For sure.
Hey, so yeah, like I said, we're both saying agreements in this conversation, and that's going to happen when you're claimed to be an Aboriginal. We're going to have agreements. But like I said, we have a differ on the orientation of this migration of how the science came. So, which is a dope one. This is probably the most common contention point within this conversation throughout time. So, we definitely gonna get into it, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Okay, and then we'll
shout out to
schedule
the
it, man.
Aborigines in the chat, man. Make sure y'all drop some fire emojis out there. Drop some fire emojis.
Yeah, let's
My bad, bro.
Let's schedule that thing on the back end, and we can get it popping. I think we got I forgot we had a original argument too. We need to have a couple of different arguments throughout the debate. So the migration will be one.
Yeah. I kind of want to get back into that, but I don't think it has nothing to do with the Aboriginal argument. You was going in on craniology and how it's not used, it's not right. But I think you referenced Lucy as an African. We was talking about. You was like, yeah, they found Lucy bones, and they did the study on her, and they said she was an African Negroid. And I was at that time, there was a lot of people on your panel. You was hyped. You told me to shut the fuck up. I was actually angry. I was probably slapped the shit out of you that day. I was pissed off. But I was like, man,
see how this brother went back and brought up
some, I want to kind of just deal with the information.
And you messing the energy up, brother. Everybody know when me and you first streamed, we clashed and we
it's all good. It's all good. I just want
it wasn't even that serious, man. But you know, I think you just crossed the line over there. That's kind of like going back into the negativity and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's move past that, man.
But in that conversation,
we all men. Got a little tough.
In that part of the conversation, you was talking about craniology.
Mm-hmm.
You was talking about Yeah, you was all good. It's all good. It ain't no hard feelings. We was dealing with craniology. You was like, yeah, they classify Lucy as a Negroid and an African and all these things. And I was like, no, they didn't. You see what I'm saying? That was my only contention point with what you were saying. Pretty much everything else I agree with.
You disagree with? I don't even see exactly what the disagreement was on Lucy though. Still.
Oh no, we were just saying that she's they classified her as a hominid, not a Negroid or African. That was only reason I brought that up because you said you want to get to the original arguments of the conversation.
That was
the only argument that I had.
I never debated you on what they classified her was. They consider her Australopithecus. They said Australopithecus originated in Africa. And
no, we never.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, we never had a conversation on it. But you had spoke on it, and I was trying to insert that I disagreed, and I was going to state why I disagreed with that particular comment. But that's, we can move past it. But like I said, the argument that day didn't have nothing to do with the Aboriginal information, is what I was saying initially.
Hey, salutes to my brothers in the chat room. I see y'all. I'm just letting y'all know I do see y'all out there. Salutes. We getting it in. Supreme Chief Holiday.
So yeah, man, we wind this thing down. I know you had some stuff you had to do. So I had a lot of questions. We probably have to do some stuff on the back end, start building this up. When I hear anything that comes from out of Africa or the theory of evolution, for me, I can't really say, okay, that's it for me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's going to be kind of hard as the moderator. To one, I'm going to try. It's hard for me to even discuss, with a straight face, theories and hypotheses. It's hard for me. You know what I mean? So it's going to be kind of hard for me to express that without being able to drop that into y'all understand what I'm saying? Y'all can, whatever explanation that you have of the actual facts that are there, and we go from there. But other than that, you know, we're gonna have to get past some of these terminologies and stuff too, because they weren't, you know, it's not terms that we use for ourselves. And so these debates and stuff are to get the information to a broader sense of the people. So that's why we're gonna do this. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why we appreciate Bro Sanchez, because the rest of them scared as hell. Like I asked you a question earlier. What was your toughest debate? And I don't mean that he was tough or whatever. Just, you know, at the time, you know, it was just this particular person curriculum stands out to you, bro.
I never answered who was my toughest debate. I'm gonna have to go with It sure wasn't young Pharaoh. Let me see here. I can't give it to Jabari. I'm gonna have to go on ahead, man, and go on give that thing to Gorilla Hebrew. I got to, cause Gorilla Hebrew came with that energy. You know how the Hebrews are, and yeah, you know they was deep in the chat. It was tough. It was tough with them Hebrews, man. So now that I think about it, going after that Bible and having Gorilla Hebrew debate, that was probably my toughest one, but it wasn't too tough for me though. Even my toughest debate, I don't consider that as I still didn't break a sweat.
So for you, you're saying you never lost a debate, correct?
That's how I feel too.
No, I'm just saying. I know Ab is undefeated. So you feel that you're undefeated, Bro Sanchez?
I think the people feel that way too. And I don't think, yeah.
Jabari. I thought Jabari was Mayweather over there. What happened? Didn't you and Jabari have a debate?
Yeah, man. But you know, the whole strategy.
I see the debate. He smoked Jabari, man.
What was the debate about? Because I didn't see it. I'm gonna have to go back and check it out.
What
was the debate about?
Flat Earth Globe.
Whether or not it was globe or flat, he smoked him. He smoked this game.
And then the highlight argument of the debate was whether or not the Egyptians subscribe to flat Earth or not. And so the crazy thing about it, the strategy that I used was to make him a Kemetic priest show up going against Nut and Gab, which is the foundation of Kemeticism. So right there off the back, I think I had him beat from the get-go. He couldn't find no globe nowhere in Egypt. So, you know, regardless of what the judges and say,
I'm not even gonna lie. That was back in.
Yeah, that was a while.
That was back in 2018, correct?
Yeah, that was 2017.
Yeah, I was really teeter-totting on a lot of the information. That made me a believer, that debate. I remember that. I started doing a lot of research on cosmology with the Aboriginal American cosmology here, and just it was like, damn, it's been right here the whole goddamn time.
Yeah, so I think that if there's any Aboriginals out there in your chat room that in the future would like to debate the flat Earth thing, that might be a future one as well, man. That might be a one. Think the Aboriginals kind of split up on that.
Well,
on
what? We go back to what the ancients said, bro. So they didn't get on those ships and then go outside and take pictures of the Earth. All that's fake. So for me, that comes first, and then colonization brings you globe. Colonization brings you occultism and stealing of our shit. Now I know that was something that we were talking about earlier. Watching this video that we have up here, right? But the seriousness of this is that this is all connected.
Yeah, because I like.
It's all connected. All the high end of information.
Like I said, I told you.
Go ahead, bro.
I told you a while ago that I wanted to do a bill with Bro Sanchez, breaking down some of the history and the cosmology of our ancestors and what they recorded about this being infinite plane of existence, if you will. So yeah, man, I've always wanted to go in on that, man, from that aspect. But see, so that's maybe something we can do in the future after we, do these debates or put some of these down, for the record as well. So we can definitely get into some of that information as well.
And I think we need to just, after this, we can get behind the scenes and come up with an official title and an argument for the debate. And after that, we can start getting right into the flat earth thing, man, because that's really where I shine at. I don't think a lot of people really understand how you can have a group of people, because I know you saying that our ancestors said it was flat and they had flat earth cosmology, but then I can actually prove it too with the science and the slides and all that as well. Because a lot of
I show slides. I show actual. My bad.
Yeah, because I see Free Papa saying, let's put flat earth to bed. So I see the chat room kind of mixed up on that. So that's why I think that's going to be a fire one in the future, though.
Well, once again, the argument still goes where it came from. Where does the science come from?
You said what? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
But we're still talking about if there's architecture, it did not pop up around the world at the same time. So that's going to be the crux of everything, because then everything else kind of goes with that argument, right? Because I asked you before, how did you know that the Nagas are air quote black people, brother? And AP, why the hell you think you come from America and everybody else say you from Africa? So these are two questions for you guys.
Why do I think the Nagas was black people? That was my question, right? So yeah, I think the Nagas was black people.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think the Nagas was black people because when you look at the carvings, the images of the Naga that's still left, which we can pull up, they resemble who we would call copper-colored black people of America. And I think that's why they call us niggas today, because we the original Nagas.
And that's it.
No, I got way more. I got slides and all of that. I'm just being brief because, I know we about to get rid of the shutdown. I'm just trying to answer you in a nutshell real quick.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's cool. Hey, Pete, you, what? You was a Pan-African back in the days. What was it about the Aboriginal information that made you say, you know what, fuck being an African, no disrespect to people that consider themselves Africans, or pushing a Pan-African paradigm, right? What made you come back home, brother? What was that thing that what exactly what made you come back home, brother?
That's a good ass question. And just in a nutshell, man, looking at the history, looking at the overall evidence and data about, first of all, when you're told that there was no black people nowhere except for one particular place, and that it branched out from there, that's a whole narrative that you obviously attach to your history growing up. So when you find other information that contradicts that, overwhelmingly it gets you to start questioning the narrative. So that me finding out that it was Negroes here before a so-called slave trade is what got me to start challenging the narrative about who we are.
Bro Sanchez, that's a good one. Bro Sanchez, do you believe in the transatlantic slave trade or American slavery? And if you do or you don't, tell the people what's your observation or your research on the slave trade, bro.
Yeah, as far as the transatlantic slave trade, honestly, I'm gonna just I have no problem giving credit where credit is due. All of what I think about the transatlantic slave trade comes directly from the brother Dane Calloway. When I saw his work on the slave trade, it just made so much sense to me. I just adopted it until I find a better argument. You know what I'm saying? But as far as slavery on American land, that's a good question. I do think slavery happened. I don't think that the slaves came over here on no ships and that they weren't no Africans, but there was slavery going on in this land, if that's what you're asking me. And I have several sources to argue that if the time comes.
Big Aboriginal power. What's your take on slavery? And do you guys think that this could be a point of contention in the debate as well? Go ahead, brother. AP.
Hey, my bad, bro. My bad.
No, it's all good. Did you hear the question?
No, I didn't. My bad.
The question is, right, about what's your take on the transatlantic slave trade, American slavery, and based off of his answer to that question, would that be a point of contention for the debate as well?
Well, no, I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, I ain't gonna say a point of contention. You know, we know. Shout out to A1 who put out the narrative that we didn't come over here as slaves, and that slaves was taken from the islands and taken out to Europe and then dispersed throughout various different parts of the Eastern Hemisphere. So shout out to him, Ali Muhammad, with other brothers that had that information as well, long before a lot of other people started pushing it or started regurgitating. So when we deal with a certain narrative, I'm not going to argue that slavery existed, because we know slavery existed here in America. That's a fact. Like, I got overwhelming documents. But, you know, we have to get into who was the first slaves in America and what is a slave. And then we're going to have a different demographic of people that we're looking at once we get into this narrative as well.
I see. Let me ask you a question, Chief, real quick.
Absolutely, bro.
I brought up Dane Calloway, and your chat room got kind of hot, yo. Like, y'all don't rock with Dane over here.
Well, I'm gonna give y'all the real. I'm gonna give you the real since you're asking me, right? Nah, I'm gonna get to like in butt naked, right? And I was just gonna like basically like walk it down with you. Like, let's see, okay, well, what exactly did you learn? Because what I know about what Dane teaches about the transatlantic slave trade, he said it's in reverse. Right. But my next question to you was, right, now not answering the question with a question, because if for me, like when I said on your thing that, you know, I'm one of Dane's teachers, right, I'm gonna teach you this right here because it's something that you're missing. Because, right, if I'm gonna, okay, we said, you said that the slave trade was in reverse. Now my question back to you is, what does that mean to you? The slave trade was in reverse. Because once again, I teach that the slave trade is fake, period. Right? And so people have taken bits and pieces of that with they skateboard or boogie board and boogie their way into some information. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna keep it real. So for me, the question to you is, what does the slave trade in reverse mean to you, sir?
So I think that it's a difference between saying the slave trade in reverse versus history was told to us in reverse. But I would say this though, what does the slave trade in reverse mean to me? It actually means nothing to me, because I'm gonna be quite honest with you, Chief. I always tell my people to eat the fish and spit out the bones. I'm from the South. I know slavery exists, but I never questioned the transatlantic slave trade even if I think if I would have questioned it, I probably would have came to the same conclusions as you guys, but my interest was in other areas. So the thing, what I'm saying about Dane Calloway is that there's a lot of things I don't agree with what he teach, but what I credit him for is what I learned from him was, wait a minute, the whole thing about slaves coming on ships, period, need to be questioned. How they was packed in the ships like sardines, all that. I've saw those dumb pictures for years, and I never thought to myself, yeah, this shit looked laughable. You know what I mean? You just kind of look at it and say, well, the slave, you know what I mean? So for me, it just sparked my interest somewhere else because and another thing I want to clarify, slaves going from here to Africa, which would be in reverse, I don't agree with that. Like I stand with you that I don't think that slaves, it's a possibility slaves could have left here and went to their own ships. I don't think they came here on ships, but what I'm taking from Dane Calloway is we should question the transatlantic slave trade. Hey, think about it. I'm just here to make you think, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you, like I even thought about the stuff. You know, it's so much research to do. That was just one lane that I never said, And so, you know, and I know that probably were many teachers before him, like the chat room said. But if he's bringing it back up today and making the truth popular, then hey, man, anybody speaking the truth in this generation or a future generation should get the same respect. But that's just in my book, whether a child tell it or elder tell it.
Well, here's my thing right here, right? You know, you've been doing these for a long time period. So you know that you just can't skim over the top. You have to tell the story correctly. You know what I'm saying? So we talk about, shout out to Westside Cooley. We did an interview with him the other day, and he was like, yo, it's really about these guys telling the stories correctly. And so that's kind of one of his pet peeves. He's like, yo, the story needs to be told correctly. Okay, so my question to you is, right, do you believe that Africans were captured and round up and put on the bottom of a slave boat and 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 transported like sardines, being pissed and shit on and brought to America, brother?
Hell no. Hell no. No way.
Okay. These are, do you believe that the pale European is the slave? And the slave trade is talked about them, that the brother Dane Calloway talks about being in reverse, but the reverse is actually that they're talking about their enslavement for 400 plus years in Europe, Asia, Africa, as well as America, brother. Are you prepared for that, brother?
I don't agree with that. I think that there were Europeans who were enslaved, but I don't agree with that whole statement you just said there. No, not at all.
Well, and see, that's why we teach. That's why we push gas. Now I know when I did a build on that last Thursday, whatever, on your show, I broke down the etymology and the definition of where slave come from, right? Now within that, how can these people without guns and the numbers move around, right? Without even the financing, right? Because they didn't have Zionists then to finance the shit and the World Banks and all the stuff that they have now. So with that being said, right, these things didn't exist. So we know that they're writing stuff and they're putting it back in history. Like earlier, you said something about Stonehenge, right? That how did they do that? Well, shout out to Lotus Television. We did a build on American Stonehenge. Y'all need to check that out on this channel, where we showed them literally the before, during, and after the making of the England Stonehenge, bro. So these people are putting this shit together like Legos and taking credit all around the world. So a lot of these things we're going to be able to put into this debate, because those are the questions I'm going to be asking. You know what I'm saying, bro? So it's a lot of things that are going to be going into this, right, once again, that we can prove, as opposed to what they just, the stories that the Rockefellers and the Carnegies and the DuPonts and all these people. So once again, they created the whole system. So it's either you it's controlled opposition or not. They control the whole thing. So that's all I just wanted to say with that, man. You know, for us to if we're gonna tell the truth, you know what I'm saying, it's really about telling the truth, y'all. So that's kind of how I feel about it, as far as if we're gonna push the information, then we might as well tell the truth about it. So that's kind of why I'm at with it. If we're gonna go with the slave trade, let's tell it the truth.
Hey, that's
right?
why.
Go ahead, brother.
That's why I got into this information, man, is to be a truth searcher and a truth teller, man. So we cannot become emotionally attached to any of this information, even though you might be credited to a lot of it, or you might be looked at as a pillar to it. Hey, when it's wrong, man. You got to move on and adjust. This is what research is, to do it over and over and over again. Good. Shout out to the American Aborigines out there, man. Shout out to
that's right.
ones. Drop some fire emojis out there, man. I'm ready to get into the discussion, man. I'm ready to get it, man. I'm ready. Hey,
well, I could ask. Yeah, I could. I think so that we ever come up with like a good fire title for like the foundation for our debate, though, based on what me and him.
We didn't come up with a title, but we did come up with contention. So I think he was like, we'll get into the back end, but we can do it live. We can get into the back end. It don't matter however you want to do it, brother.
Oh, okay. Either way, you're right. Either way. Yeah, man.
So we'll come up with a nice title that's crafted and tailored for this particular conversation.
All right, that sounds good to me, man. I'm how long y'all gonna be live? I might hop back on.
Maybe we'll come with a southern title since we both from the South and shit.
Oh, for real? Where you from?
I'm from Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah. You right by me, man. You right by me.
Hell yeah. I ain't too far from you. Yeah. I was just in Alabama last week. I went down to Louisiana, stayed out in Mississippi, went to go check out some of the Chief Holidays, land and property and barbecue shop he got down there and shit. Yeah.
Hey, so
matter of fact, initially when we spoke this to set up this conversation, that I was in war in. Don't really
that's what's good. Yeah, man. Hey, I'm looking forward to the debate, and we'll get a title and a date established on the back end. If y'all brothers are still live, when I get back, I'm gonna hop back on, man.
Yeah, do that. Shit, I'm pretty sure Chief will be live. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Shout out to bro Sanchez.
Yeah, much love and respect.
Man. This was the face off, man.
For sure. Salutes to y'all and salutes to the chat room. Your chat room talking. They ain't gonna debate me. I love their ass though. I'm gonna get up out of here. They ain't gonna debate me though.
I mean, you know, man, you know, like when we come over to your stadium, you know, they're gonna be booing in there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got to talk about all that, man. Where we gonna do this at? If you know, like it's a lot going on behind the scenes, y'all. Let me ask you a question. Another question before you go, right? If you were gonna have a debate partner, right? Mm-hmm. Who would you pick to debate with you in a 2-man debate against Al Power and say Truth Searcher? You know, who is?
It depends on what. It depends.
Like we got our starting 5 is stupid.
Yeah, it depends on what the debate topic would be, though. You know what I'm saying? Then I have to.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying though, like we're talking about the origins of some of the stuff they're talking about. Matter of fact, Dane Calloway's name came up before in this whatever, so I don't know if that would be possible. You know, you said that was one of your teachers. Would you put one of your teachers as a debate partner, brother? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. If that brother would be willing, I'll definitely do that. I'm with the team thing too. I think I can get a fire enough team to take on whoever, man. You know, I'm with the debate.
Me too, man. I think I got a starting 5, man. It doesn't matter. I can blindly pick anyone of, you know, the research partners I deal with, man.
Fact. Starting 15, 20.
Yo, I don't think nobody doing it like a debate. We might be onto some new. This might be some new shit here, but yeah, that'll be dope.
And you notice that nobody never asked no Aboriginals to be a part of none of their debate leagues. Solar Division, them, like all of them niggas know not to have no Aboriginals on no debate league nowhere, because we gonna embarrass every curriculum. I mean, the Amon Fraku. I was like, who's that? It's like listening to The Walking Dead. Like them niggas, we been smoked them packs up, nigga. We need new food right now. There's nobody to eat, so hence there you go. So, my bad, but you know, we hungry, bro. We hungry over here, y'all.
They about to have Amon Ra Squad statues in the museum, G. They have antique.
Nigga, they're gonna be in a basement made out of cardboard.
They too easy because they just regurgitate the mainstream science, man. That's the easiest shit to get rid of, man. Hey, look, I hope y'all brothers live, man. I'm gonna hop back on in a few. I'll be right back though, man. Y'all keep the stream.
All right, yeah, man. We're gonna probably come back, man, and do a Halloween special later on tonight, man, if y'all with that. I'm gonna let this video finish playing out, Sanchez, so if you could listen in or whatever, we could talk about this later on or something. But this, like I said, this the secret society stuff. We gotta stop it. If we all say that we for the truth and we trying to help out the next generations, then we gotta expose them at least. So I thank you, brother, for coming through, man. Appreciate you and everything you're doing and bringing to the table, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all.